I don't know who needs to hear this today, but there is a place where you can find peace and comfort, even on your most difficult and dark of days. Many of the hymns in our songbook are written by two authors. The first one was the individual who wrote the words or the lyrics, and the other is the individual who composed the music for that hymn. Such is not the case with today's song. Today's song was both written and composed by the same individual. Cleland McAfee was born in 1866, just 1 year after the conclusion of the Civil War. And he died in 1944, just 1 year before the conclusion of World War II. He was a pastor at First Presbyterian Church in Chicago, Illinois. And throughout his life, he saw a lot of things. He saw Reconstruction, he saw World War I, he saw the Great Depression, he saw World War II. But the thing that moved him to write this most beloved hymn, and the one thing that he is best known for, was a situation that occurred in 1901. He was sitting at his desk in his office at First Pres, and he received word that his two beloved nieces, his nieces whom he had a very, very close and loving relationship with, had died of diphtheria. Sitting there alone in his office, he wrote the words and the music to this hymn. The first time this hymn was ever heard was a few days later as he was standing outside of his brother's quarantined house. He sang the song to his brother, hoping that it might bring some peace and comfort to him as it had Cleland himself. The second time the song was heard was a few days after. At First Presbyterian's worship service, the choir sang this hymn as part of the communion service. And we don't typically think of this song as a Lord's Supper song, but when you hear the lyrics in just a few moments, I think you're going to see how this certainly does fit very well with the communion service. Another one of Cleland's brothers, who had been in town for the funeral and attended worship that Sunday, was so impressed by the song that he got a copy of that song and he took it back to Berkeley, California, where he attended the First Presbyterian Church there, and that song at that church began to become a part of the liturgy there. Just 2 years later, in 1903, this song was first published in the Choir Leader magazine. And from there, it has gone on to be published in just about every hymn book or song book since then. But what is this hymn? What is this song that grew out of the author's shock and grief? This pastor, this uncle, grieving the loss of his nieces. Take a listen, and I'll be back.
Near to the heart of God.
There is a place of comfort and peace, even on our darkest and most difficult of days. It is found near to God. The psalmist, in reflecting on some very difficult circumstance in his own life, wrote this in Psalm 73. When I pondered to understand this, it was troublesome to me until I came into the sanctuary of God. And then I understood their end. So on those dark days, Cleland McAfee would suggest to you that you come near to the heart of God. James would say it this way: draw near to God, and He will draw near to you. I've got nothing but big love for you. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.